Good morning. Welcome to Market Monday for June 24th, 2024. We periodically check in on the Atlanta Fed's nowcast, or real-time estimate of GDP economic growth. Here we see it jump back up to just over 3%. Pretty strong, right? But how about a little balance? Here we're looking at GDP, same GDP we just saw, the month of the peak prior to the incoming recession. This is going back to 1960. So observation number one, there aren't that many recessions, just 8, not including COVID, over the past 64 years. And number two, yes, we all like to see positive GDP, higher economic growth, but more often than not, that's how cycles end too. To be clear, we are not predicting imminent recession, just providing a bit of context and balance to the discussion. One reason in particular we don't see an imminent recession is this: federal interest payments in purple, federal defense budget for context in black, going back to 1950. Yes, you're seeing that right. Interest payments have now exceeded the defense budget for the first time in earnest in history. Here's another look. You may have heard the official organization that reports on budgets, deficits, etc., the Congressional Budget Office, or CBO, recently stated, oops, we are increasing this year's federal budget deficit by $400 billion. That headline even made its way down to our local newspaper, the Orlando Sentinel. And here's a smoothed curve of that same data. Total revenue, so tax receipts and some other revenue items, is this white line here. So up substantially from the pre-COVID years. Here's Social Security, unemployment, here's Medicare, interest, the same figure from here, and this guy. Other is things like Medicaid, all the grants we never really hear about, federal salaries and benefits, and spending bills like the Inflation Reduction Act, the CHIPS Act, to build out chips and processors to power the incoming AI revolution. So anytime the colored bars are higher than the white line, see a trend? That's a federal deficit. Now, morality aside, you can like or dislike the federal deficit as you wish. The federal deficit ultimately makes its way into the real economy. Social Security is a direct transfer, so are interest payments. Medicare pays doctors and hospitals, and yes, insurance companies too. Defense pays salaries and companies, who then go on to pay more salaries and return some profits to shareholders. And with the currently strong economy, this level of deficit is uncommon, which is a big reason why we're not expecting imminent recession. And today we'll leave you with, remember last week we were talking about how about 35% of the gain in the S&P 500 stock market was due to one single stock, NVIDIA? For context, here's how the year is shaping up so far in green. Here are non-presidential election years in light blue, election years in dark blue right here. So this election year is making the average election year look like child's play. Again, about 35% of this gain is from one stock alone. And it turns out 60% of this year's gain is due to just 5 stocks. Surprise, surprise. NVIDIA, Microsoft, Alphabet Google, Meta Facebook, Apple, and Amazon. Have a great week.